Hey, what's up guys? So it's been 2 weeks, actually longer than 2 weeks, but that's fine. Let's get into the review of the Mobicel Hype. Okay, so to start off, let's talk about the phone's design. So the phone has a 6-inch infinity display screen, and it also has bezels at the top and the bottom of the phone. Pretty thick bezels, and I think they're also made to look even more thicker because of the screen protector. Speaking of screen protector, I dropped the phone twice, so there's actually cracks on the screen protector but not on the screen, which is actually nice because it means the screen protector that they gave us in the box actually works. Awesome. Yeah, so the screen protector actually comes with a black border that outlines the screen protector with the logo Mobicel at the bottom of it. It's not completely clear or see-through, which means that if you are to get a different screen protector for the phone, you won't have the Mobicel logo at the bottom of the screen. And back to the design of the phone. As I said, it's got a huge forehead, huge chin, which makes the screen even smaller. It's got the volume buttons on the right side of the phone, as well as the lock-unlock button, which is probably the most annoying feature of the phone because the button is super sensitive. At the top of the phone, we've got the charging port alongside the audio jack. I think having the charging port at the top of the phone is a bit weird, because naturally we know we put the charger at the bottom, then you can use it to type and text while the phone is charging, but having it at the top sort of like creates a form of weight or like resistance when you're using the phone while charging. And then the speaker of the phone is located at the back of the phone, which initially I thought was really cool when we unboxed it, but it actually limits the phone's audio quality because you can't really hear the phone's audio unless the phone is placed upside down. So if you're receiving voice notes and stuff from WhatsApp, and you know the minute you put your phone upside down on WhatsApp, the voice note ends. So that's really sucks. And also playing music, and a lot of people don't like putting their phones upside down because it messes with the screen. So it really limits the phone's audio quality, and the phone's audio quality isn't that great anyway. At the back of the phone, we have the Mobicel logo, as well as the camera. The main camera, which is 30 megapixels. The camera quality is fair for an entry-level phone, which we'll get into later in the video. And then in the front of the phone, we have the front camera, which is 5 megapixels. So that's it for the design of the phone. It's also pretty nice in the hands. It's got a good weight, and I think it's even lighter when you remove the battery, since it's got a removable battery. And yeah, the phone is completely made out of plastic, and I think for the design of the phone, it's really nice. Oh, the phone comes in 3 different colors. We've got this nice blue here, and this blue really shines. Given good light, it really looks nice. It's got like different shades when the light is reflected on it. It also comes in gray as well as gold. Now let's go into the phone. Let's talk about the phone's battery. This phone's battery is amazing. I get about a whole day's worth. That's like a full 24 hours worth without charging, with fair usage. And if I'm using it a lot, I can get at least 8 to 12 hours out of the phone, which is amazing. You don't really get that much from a smartphone, so especially from an entry-level smartphone. And I've used it as I would my normal phone. I use it for pictures, to play games, to text. Of recent, I actually started using it as my main phone so that I can get the complete feel of the phone. So I'd say the phone's battery life is stellar quality. Okay, so let's get into the inside of the phone. This is entry-level phone, so it only has 2 gigs of RAM, which is decent if you are using it for entry-level uses. And it runs on Android Oreo or Android 8.1, whatever you want to call it, the Go edition. And if you don't know what Android Go is, I'll explain what it is and how it differs from the regular Android, and I'll link a YouTube card over here. So the phone only has 4 unlock functions. You can unlock it by a pattern, by a pin, and by just swiping. It does not have fingerprint unlock, which is expected. It's an entry-level phone for a really cheap price, so we can't really expect it to have all of that. So let's talk about the phone's camera. It has 2 cameras, a rear main camera at the back, which is 13 megapixels, as well as the front camera, which is 5 megapixels. Okay, so the 13 megapixel camera takes decent pictures. You see most of the pictures in very good light, will show most of the details in the pictures, and the pictures look pretty sharp. And it's got different modes. You can take pictures in HDR mode as well as without HDR mode. I don't know who would rather take a picture without HDR. And then for taking videos, the camera is also pretty decent. It goes up to 1080p for video taking, and there's really minimal delay or lag when taking the videos. And then the front facing camera, the 5 megapixel camera, also decent for an entry-level phone. It has what a lot of these entry-level phones have, which is like a flash when taking the picture. You can turn it on or off, or you can set it to auto. So when taking pictures with the rear facing camera, 13 megapixel, you'll notice that it does distort or discolor some of the images, but when you're looking at, but you can only notice that kind of difference when you're comparing it to something else. And also it's not very sharp, the images aren't very sharp, but it still takes quite decent pictures if it's not being compared to another camera with a better quality, which is obvious. This phone doesn't have much internal storage. It has about 8 gigs of internal storage, and about 3 gigs of that is already firmware. So you would want to get a memory card to supplement the phone's internal storage, and it does take expandable memory up to about 128 gigs, which is decent. But this phone, seeing that it's got limited RAM, having a lot of apps and files on the phone does slow it down. I noticed the more apps I added, it created a lot of lag in the phone. When we look at the phone's lock unlock button, which I said is probably the worst feature of this phone because it's super sensitive, any slight pressure against the lock unlock button will lock the phone, which is annoying because sometimes you're just holding it. I think it's probably where it's placed as opposed to how sensitive it is. Usually the lock button is a bit higher, but the volume buttons are low, therefore the lock unlock buttons are low as well. So looking at the response of locking and unlocking the phone, it has a bit of a delay, but it still works, not too much. And seeing that it doesn't have fingerprint unlock, you're most likely gonna either just swipe, or if you want to put a pattern, you do the same, but really patterns are a delay for me. Personally, I don't put patterns on my phone unless it has the fingerprint unlock, because it takes so much time to unlock a phone. Yeah, I know, those 2 seconds mean a lot to me. So the phone actually has a few cool gestures, like you can do the one-handed mode where you make the screen size a bit smaller so that you can access all parts of the screen with just one hand, and you can swipe the screen to the other side and tap outside of the screen to get back to normal. And also it has that function where you can take screenshots with 3 fingers, although the response rate of that function for me is a bit slow, and sometimes if you are working on, if you want to take a screenshot immediately, you have to wait a bit so that it actually takes a screen grab of the screen you wanted it to take, as opposed to you taking a screen grab of something else. So the phone retails for about a range from 1,000 Rand to about 1,500 Rand. That's how much I see it sells from. You can buy it on the Mobicel website, which I'll link in the description below. And I think that's a decent price for its features and functionalities. I think it provides more than the price it calls for. And we'll see what phone we get. Maybe in the next video we're gonna review the Hype X. So guys, that's it from the Mobicel Hype review. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment and share this video with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and also follow us on various social media platforms, Twitter and Instagram. It's at 8th Avenue. And I will see you next time.